Hey there, adventurers and curious minds. You know that big question we always ask when we're planning a trip, is this place really worth visiting? Today we're tackling a big one. Toronto, Canada's largest city. We've dug through a ton of insights, locals, travelers, research to get you the real story. Our goal, simple. Help you figure out if Toronto should be high up on your list. Give you that shortcut to knowing what's what.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you hear, yes, it's worth it a lot about Toronto from people who know it well, but there's always a but, right? It's got these amazing highs, like the food scene. It's just incredible and some unique spots, but like any huge city, there are things to think about. Cost, crowds, that kind of thing.
Exactly. That nuance is key. So yeah, get ready. We're diving deep into what makes Toronto, well, Toronto, what really stands out and what you actually need to know to make a visit genuinely unforgettable. Okay, let's get right into it. When people think Toronto, what are the big things, like beyond just being Canada's biggest city? What do our sources really pinpoint?
Well, sure, it's the economic hub. It's got the CN Tower. Everyone knows that. But what really comes through again and again in the sources is its sheer global diversity. It's not just a talking point.
Right.
Over half the population born outside Canada, more than 200 languages. That directly fuels, well, everything. The amazing food, those really distinct neighborhoods, and it even plays into why it feels, generally pretty safe for a big city. That's the core of it, really.
Okay, diversity, food, neighborhoods, got it.
Yeah.
So for someone who actually likes that big city buzz, that urban energy, what makes Toronto stand out? What are the definite pros?
Oh, for city lovers, it's kind of a playground. Our sources keep mentioning it's arguably the most multicultural city globally. And that means like an unbelievable range of stuff to see and eat. Plus, it's safer, statistically speaking, than a lot of other big North American cities, which is, a real plus.
Mm-hmm.
And because of all that diversity, you get these really unique neighborhoods, each with its own vibe. So yeah, absolute paradise for foodies, definitely. And just for exploring, wandering around, it's not just one monolithic thing. It's like a collection of places.
That makes sense, a collection of places. Okay, let's dive into that cultural side then. Sources call it the vibrant multicultural heartbeat of Canada. So thinking history, art, culture was a good starting point. Somewhere that really gives you a feel for its charm.
A really great place to start to get that mix of history and like current vibe is the Distillery District. Picture this. Cobblestone streets, pedestrian only, these beautifully restored Victorian industrial buildings.
Oh, wait.
It's not just shops, it's like stepping back a bit, but now it's full of cool little bars, cafes, indie fashion stores, art galleries, really photogenic too. And apparently it turns into this amazing winter village at Christmas. Super charming, right in the city.
Sounds lovely. Very atmospheric. Okay, beyond that historic charm, what about the big institutions like the Royal Ontario Museum, the ROM? How does something like that capture Toronto's, global feel?
Yeah, the ROM is, it's more than just Canada's biggest museum. It kind of mirrors the city itself.
Hmm.
Its
Yeah.
collections cover everything from like ancient Egypt to amazing dinosaur bones, by the way.
Right.
It gives you that whole world in one place feeling, a bit like Toronto does. Sources say give it at least a couple of hours, maybe go on a weekday afternoon if you can. It's quieter then, lets you soak it all in.
Good tip. And then there's something completely different about a shoe museum. A museum about shoes. Sounds quirky, but maybe surprisingly interesting.
It totally is. It's one of those hidden gems. They've got thousands of shoes, like nearly 15,000 objects in the whole collection, making it the biggest shoe exhibit anywhere. But it's not just about shoes. It uses footwear to tell stories about history, different cultures, even social change, from ancient sandals to like celebrity high heels. It's actually fascinating, kind of fun. Oh, and for art buffs, there's the Art Gallery of Ontario, the AGO, cool building, very modern looking, and just packed over 90,000 works. Really extensive collection.
Shoes, dinosaurs, art. Quite the mix. Okay, but I suspect the most delicious way all this multiculturalism comes together is the food scene. How does that global flavor translate onto the plate for visitors?
Oh, you are absolutely right. The food is where Toronto just explodes with diversity.
Yeah.
People we looked at kept saying the food is so, so, so good. You can genuinely eat your way around the world in a weekend.
Wow.
Seriously, think First Nations food, classic poutine, amazing Lebanese falafel, Korean BBQ, Jamaican jerk, Hawaiian poke bowls.
Well.
You name it, you can probably find an authentic version somewhere. It's incredible.
Okay, foodie paradise confirmed. But where do you even start? Are there specific spots like neighborhoods or markets that are must-visits for this culinary tour?
Definitely. Kensington Market is essential. It's this really bohemian neighborhood full of little hole-in-the-wall places, cool cafes, unique shops. The key thing is it feels real,
Yeah.
not like some manufactured tourist spot.
Right, authentic.
Yeah, loads of street art too. Food tours there are apparently a great way to sample a bit of everything. And then there's St. Lawrence Market, historic building, used to be City Hall, even a jail apparently.
Go way.
Yeah, now it's got like over 120 vendors, global food, Canadian stuff. You have to try the pea meal bacon sandwich there. It's a Toronto classic. Plus, in summer, you can sit outside, and it's near that park with the funny dog fountain, Birksea Park. Nice spot for lunch.
Oh,
And it doesn't stop there. You can literally wander through Little Italy, Koreatown, Chinatown, one of the oldest, actually, near Kensington Market, Greektown, Little Ukraine, even J-Town, Japantown. It really does feel like world travel within one city.
Okay, my stomach's rumbling just thinking about it. So we've got culture, incredible food. What about those big iconic sites, the things that dominate the skyline and draw huge crowds?
Yeah.
What are the absolute must-dos for that wow factor?
Well, you can't talk iconic Toronto without talking about the CN Tower. It's massive, over 1,800 feet tall, tallest tower in the Western Hemisphere. It's just there. You have to do it right.
Very much.
You can go up to the observation deck for insane views, have dinner in the revolving restaurant fancy, or if you're brave, like really brave, there's the edge walk.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they basically harness you up and you walk around the outside edge 116 stories up. Not for me, maybe, but some people love it. A helicopter tour is another way to get that amazing perspective if dangling isn't your thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, maybe the helicopter is more my speed. Okay, so edge walk aside, what else? Maybe something a bit less terrifying.
Right next to the tower is Ripley's Aquarium of Canada. It's huge, loads of fish, something like 20,000 animals, 450 species. The underwater tunnel is the big draw where sharks and rays swim right over you. It's great for kids, obviously, but adults love it too. One source mentions celebrating a 30th birthday there. Pro tip: go early or late to dodge the biggest crowds. And surprise, Toronto has a castle. Casa Loma.
A castle?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, a Gothic-style mansion from the early 1900s. You can wander through the decorated rooms, the gardens are beautiful, and you might even recognize it from movies like X-Men. Plus, climbing the towers gives you great skyline views, and of course, for sports fans, especially hockey fans, the Hockey Hall of Fame is a must.
Right, Canada sport.
Exactly. It's really interactive, tons of memorabilia, trophies. You can even get your picture taken with the Stanley Cup.
Wow, okay. Edge walks, castles, the Stanley Cup. Toronto definitely packs a punch.
Yeah.
But let's get practical. What does this all mean for planning your trip? What are the key things people need to consider? The nitty-gritty.
Right, this is where that nuance comes in.
Yeah.
Okay, first, when to go and for how long. Fall seems to be the sweet spot, according to sources. Cooler weather, fewer crowds, maybe a bit cheaper. Summer is, hot, sunny, humid, and busy. Great if you like that energy, maybe less so if you don't. Winter is cold, snowy from November to March. But they do have cool stuff like Christmas markets and skating. For length, 3 or 4 days seems about right for a first trip. Hit the main highlights. Got a week. Easy to fill it, maybe add some day trips.
Okay, timing sorted. What about the actual experience, those big city vibes? It's going to be super crowded, expensive, and importantly, is it safe?
It definitely is a big city. So yeah, expect crowds, especially at popular spots. You might need reservations for some restaurants. If you really dislike hustle and bustle, that's something to weigh up. Safety-wise, though, Toronto generally gets very good marks.
That's good to hear.
Canada overall ranks really high for peace and safety,
Yeah.
much higher than, say, the US or UK. So yes, it's considered a safe city. Standard precautions obviously apply like in any big place. Now, cost. Can it be pricey? Yes, absolutely, especially if you're doing luxury hotels and fancy dinners. But you can definitely do Toronto on a budget too. Lots of free things to see, great cheap eats in those markets we mentioned, hostels, mid-range hotels. It really depends on your style. Oh, and it's mostly cashless, so maybe keep an eye on that tap-and-go spending. One thing sources do mention, and it's important context for many big cities today, is the housing crisis. You might see signs of poverty or homelessness. It's a reality reflecting wider issues, just something to be aware of as a visitor.
Right, good points. So you're there. How do you actually get around? Is it easy? And where's the best area to stay?
Getting around is actually pretty easy. They've got a great public transport system, the TTC, buses, streetcars, subways, even ferries out to the Toronto Islands, plus taxis, Uber, Lyft, all that. From the airport, there's a train, the UP Express, gets you downtown in like 25 minutes, super convenient. Renting a car. Probably only necessary if you're planning day trips outside the city. Otherwise, stick to transit and walking. For where to stay. Downtown is usually the top recommendation. You're close to most major things, saves time and transit fare. Loads of options there, from posh spots like One Hotel with its rooftop pool or the Bisha Hotel,
Fancy, yeah.
to more mid-range places, and even cool hostels like Samuelson, Toronto, right in Kensington Market, so something for most budgets.
Excellent. Okay, we've covered the city inside out, but you mentioned day trips. If people have more time, Toronto seems like a great base.
Yeah.
What are the top excursions just outside the city?
Oh, absolutely. It's perfectly placed. The number one, hands down, must-do day trip is Niagara Falls. It's only about, 90 minutes away by car?
Niagara Falls, right?
You've got the incredible power of the falls themselves. You can do boat tours, walk behind them, ride the old Whirlpool aero car. It's just spectacular. And right near there is Niagara-on-the-Lake.
Heard of that, yeah.
It's this super charming town, really pretty downtown, boutiques, great restaurants, and tons of wineries. A completely different pace from the falls. Great pairing.
Sounds like a perfect day out.
Mm.
What about something a bit more high energy or maybe more nature focused?
For high energy, there's Canada's Wonderland. It's the country's biggest theme park. Got some record-breaking roller coasters like the Leviathan. And they do seasonal stuff too, like Halloween Haunt and Winterfest, so it's not just summer. For nature lovers, yeah, lots of options. Hiking in places like Forks of the Credit or Mono Cliffs Provincial Park. Or head to Wasaga Beach, longest freshwater beach in the world, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah. And further out, you've got Collingwood and the Blue Mountains on Georgian Bay. Skiing in winter, hiking and water stuff in summer. Really scenic area. So yeah, plenty to explore nearby.
Loads to do then, both in and out of the city. So, final big question maybe. For someone planning a trip across Canada, how does Toronto compare, say, versus Vancouver or Montreal? What's the key difference in feel?
That's a good comparison point. Toronto often gets described as faster paced, more action packed. That real global city energy we talked about. Vancouver has more of a laid-back feel,
Yeah.
It's all about the ocean, the mountains being right there. Nature feels much more integrated into the city itself.
Right, outdoorsy.
Exactly. So if that immediate access to stunning nature is key, Vancouver might edge it out. Montreal, it has this amazing European charm. That French influence is really strong. Great architecture, fantastic art scene, also incredible food. But maybe a different flavor profile than Toronto's global mix. Toronto's more about that big, modern, diverse metropolis feel. Montreal's got more of that historical kind of romance to it, maybe. Each offers something really distinct.
Okay, so it really comes down to what kind of vibe you're looking for, which brings us back to the start. Is Toronto worth visiting? And based on everything, it sounds like a definite yes, but like you said, with nuance. It depends what you want.
Precisely. It's undeniably a world-class city. Hundreds of things to see and do. It mixes modern life with deep cultural roots beautifully. That immersion in different cultures and foods is pretty unparalleled. It might not have the, dramatic mountain backdrop of Banff or the historical quaintness of Quebec City. Maybe not the prettiest in that traditional sense, but its energy, its diversity, the sheer amount of stuff going on, that makes it a truly world-scale place. It has its own kind of urban beauty, born from all those people and cultures coming together.
So what kind of energy does your next trip need? Are you craving that bustling, multicultural, foodie adventure? Or maybe something a bit more chilled with mountains calling? Hopefully this deep dive gave you a much clearer picture of Toronto beyond just the headlines. Maybe it even shifted the question from, is it worth it, to, okay, when can I go? What was the biggest surprise for you in all that? What really stood out? Something to think about. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and definitely keep asking those fascinating questions.